Imagine TikTok, but worse, but kind of funnier.
Why?
Why?
Want to know how and why? Well, it's all thanks to Sam, who you might know from YouTube and TikTok, and he's got an idea.
So you want to be a content creator? Well, that means you need charisma. You got to learn filmmaking, technical skills, editing. There's so much time and effort that goes into creating content. But what if I told you there was a solution? What if I told you that by harnessing the power of AI, procedurally generated dialogue, environments, Unreal Engine, code, scripting, you could have all that power of a content creator at your fingertips? Well, I'm happy to announce that I, Sam Gorski, have finally figured it out. I cracked the code.
Now for most, this gives mixed feelings because at the end of the day, we love content, but do you really advocate the crappy quality of it these days? Are people really being the world's Got Talent kind of creative when putting themselves out there? Well, here's the thing, there won't be people anymore. Instead, you'll see AI influencers like the one going viral in South Korea. But before we get all pessimistic, there's still the question if AIs can help turn the problem of mediocrity around with their kind of genius. So let's give you the ultimate ride into the all-new concept of AI influencers. What even are they, and what are they used for in the content creation business, which is taking the world by a storm? So stay tuned to know if you're going to see an AI in your adverts anytime soon. But first, we'd like to take a moment to say hello to everyone who's new here. Welcome to Robot Future, where you'll get to know every thrilling event in the world of AIs, robots, and the exciting future technology that awaits us. If you're a techie and have a thing for machine learning and robot creations, consider subscribing and turn the notifications on so you never miss out whenever our next video goes live. Now let's move on to the video. What are AI influencers? First things first, what even are AI influencers? Well, they're just like human influencers on social media creating content on their lives or maybe business. For instance, how many of us scroll through Instagram and not find someone trying to sell you something using their looks and the background aesthetics in combination to influence you? Imagine these personalities being automated, so humans won't have to be the actors because filming yourself for every other post or story, although it's addictive to many. But at some point it may feel like a chore. So here is the future, bringing you the concept of AI influencers, and you can picture them with the words of an article published by Rock Content. They do not exist in real life, but they can win fans and build a loyal audience. They are made of algorithms, not flesh and blood, but they can influence the behaviors of real people. And to describe them literally or give you a little bit of a textbook definition would be to say, AI influencers are virtual personalities managed by brands or media agencies and created with computer graphics technology and machine learning algorithms. They are a virtual computerized version of digital influencers. That is, real people who have gained fame and influence through social media, blogs, and other online channels. Similar to actual users, AI influencers have millions of followers, a loyal and engaged audience, and the power to influence the behavior and lifestyle of their fans. So as we discussed before, this video is about the world's first completely autonomous virtual influencer robot that the YouTuber created, showing how he just has to push a button and the AI would create content by itself. Usually, artificial intelligence is used in combination with human inputs these days, so this complete reliance on AI is a fairly new idea and begs a lot of questions. So let's first skip to the part where the YouTuber shows how it actually works, and for all you curious beings, we'll see how the result is as weird as we imagine. How do AI help in creating content? So as we take a deeper dive into his video, Sam initially shows us the path to creating this model of a full-blown AI influencer. Easier said than done, still, isn't it, as we see him put heaps of effort into designing the inputs, load in the animations, and give it the necessary juice?
Basically, we just walked through like the foundation systems that are being built out. It's easy to say, hey, let's make an AI influencer, right? It's easy to say that. But what we're doing right now is we are breaking that down into its individual components.
Do you see it now? How it can be a challenge to create a dynamic data set so that we get to see a realistic kind of content, which you see on the internet every day with real people? Because we have to keep in mind that this could most likely end up no different than a cartoon if the AI is not given, the proper virtual reality, if you get the sense. Now the next big challenge that Sam highlighted was of course programming the part from the neck up of the virtual figure or the actual influencer that this video is all about. Particularly the part where the audio gives to it synchronizes with its lips. Because the whole point of this is for the AI to do this by itself after the ground rules are set, so if it doesn't get programmed to do this with the right level of accuracy, then it's altogether gonna look ineffective. But hold on, there are plenty of applications today made to help content creators, so Sam used a plugin from a software Oculus, where they already have the list of shapes of your lips as you speak, or in other words, graphic lip movements created, and they're available to use in lip sync graphics. So let's count how much is done in making the final product. Animations like location, time, and all, check. Audio file, check. Lip sync, check. What more is there? So about the audio file, we didn't really factor in the voice though, did we? There are a million voices, and AI self-generated accents these days sound as robotic as the 80s. So what now? Well, we're gonna have to reinforce on the importance of the ton of different applications and softwares out there for content creators. So yes, Sam again used an app called Descript, which, among its array of features, also lets you give your AI a voice of any human, and it becomes the virtual influencer's default voice by the concept of overdubbed voice, where you'd use a pre-recorded voice as the basis for all future voice-overs. Now with the voice ticked off, let's see how it all comes together to form the ultimate content vending machine that is to be this AI influencer. After permuting all the pieces together in order to get the system running, the content button is ready to be hit. So, ready for this? We've got to admit, this beats the mediocrity of today's content by a long shot, since it is something of actual curiosity. It's not human, and so its humor is just way funnier for some inexplicable reason. Here, let's take a look as Sam pushes the button once more. So at this point, we can all see that there are a few obvious flaws, and well, this much is still okay considering that there's still a good amount of coherence and all. Sam points them out, putting a name to some things that need reprogramming. So it needs a little bit of bug fixing, but overall, we can say it's weird but in a good way, because it feels entertaining through the sheer curiosity of the AI self-generating stuff when you ask, hey, make a post on falling and hurting your butt, as we saw in the first result we watched. The inputs can basically be anything from giving it a time of day to maybe form a relevant story, or it could be a gaming room and asked to do what it thinks should be entertaining. So as Sam continued to test the results, he noticed one thing he couldn't get his head around.
I'm noticing patterns beginning to form. This AI is very negative. Let's just say that. It likes to be angry, and it likes to be disappointed. It likes to complain. I've noticed for some reason, it's so hard to get fun, happy posts out of it. Disappointed. I can't believe my date stood me up. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Don't you think it would make sense for her to be scared that you've trapped her in this house?
So what I've done is I have trapped this AI influencer in this house. You know, if I did that to a person, that would be bad. If I did it to a computer, well, they shouldn't be able to complain, correct?
Strange, isn't it? Makes you almost rethink the entire AI is up to no good debate. So if this is how AIs will make us feel in return of giving us entertainment, is it really worth satisfying our curiosity? Well, that depends on Sam coming with a solution or not, so let's see. So maybe being stuck in one place is why the AI mimicked a seriously depressed panda. So after the final bit of bug fixing, here's the final preview of everything Sam and his team polished up on.
New garden. I've been working on it for weeks and it's finally starting to come together. I've got all sorts of different flowers, vegetables, and herbs growing. It's so satisfying to see everything come to life.
Alright, we must admit, it's a perfect blend. The innocence of an animated AI character, the hilariously innocent speech and groovy dances, and even though there are a few glitches about the animation here and there, it just comes together as something we'd binge on for the sheer sake of how interestingly doll-like it is. And at the same time, the intensely energetic, fun vibes we get from this. And as Sam commented in the end, it kind of is influencing because who knows, if the AIs making funny content will be seen as a new trend and people copying it and making memes for the sake of looking cool and seeming fun. That is exactly what influence means, so maybe it is something of a success Sam built here. Even if it's not as promised to be 100% autonomous and press one single button to create infinite content streaks because he still has to have GTA scripts to plug in and have an audio file, which as he says is a 10-minute chore. But after a ton of failures, they are proud to release Sierra Vega onto the internet.
I've been thinking a lot about AI lately, and I'm really curious about it. I know a lot of people are afraid of AI, but I think it has the potential to do a lot of good. I'm not saying we should all become robots, but I think AI can help us in ways we never thought possible. What do you think?
Everything that Sierra posts about and comments about is all stuff that either you're suggesting or it's coming up with. Like these are storylines that it continues to build upon based off of all the engagements it has. If you want to check it out yourself, head over to Sierra, XIERRA _Vega.
So let's reflect on how much AI we have going on out there. And the idea of virtual AI influencers wasn't all that new before this YouTuber deciding to experiment this way. But is it all that great for us, the consumers? Because we're already pretty okay with the internet manipulating us with our increased dopamine addiction every day, do we really want to add to that with Sierra and maybe her future friends posting new content every day? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe because we post a ton of thrilling AI and robot hot topic videos coming out every week. Stay tuned and we'll see you all in the next one. See you all!